The organization Mothers Against Drunk Driving says there are more than 19,000 people with 3 or more DWI convictions taking to the wheel on New Jersey's roads at any given time. In April, a man who'd had his license suspended 78 times caused a crash. It was his 15th drunk driving offense. In part 2 of her series, A Lethal Mix, senior correspondent Marie Denoya Aronson reports on the search for an effective way to curb the repeat offender, protect the public, and treat the addict.
I was his grandmother. He was my firstborn grandson, and we raised him.
Monica Durrell says a repeat drunk driving offender killed her grandson Najib. He was 12 years old. It happened on May 2nd, 2007. The driver was behind the wheel of a rental car despite a revoked license. First, he hit Najib
and killed him. He left him and he stopped the car to pull the scooter from the car and then went to another bar.
That driver got 10 years for aggravated manslaughter. But Durrell says her family has a life sentence.
Because I feel like he took a life. They should do more time than that.
Durrell says she is working with New Jersey Congressman Rob Andrews, pushing for federal legislation to create a national driver register to help track those on the revoked or suspended list and at least prevent them from renting cars.
It wouldn't have happened if they would have taken time to check.
The driver had had his license revoked 8 times.
We've got to do something to get the repeat offenders off the roads and not have any more repeat offenders.
Senate President Dick Cody agrees the current law isn't working.
It's not strong enough. You know, to just put them on the revoke list, to a lot of people, like, they could care less. I'm going to keep driving. I could care less. It doesn't work. You've got to send them a stronger message. And sending them to jail sends that message.
And so he sponsored legislation that, for repeat offenders, would mandate jail terms of between 2 and 6 months.
They're a menace to society. They should not be on the road, and they have to know that if they do that, they're going away. As simple as that.
If you sanction someone, which seems to make sense, well, we'll teach them by putting them in jail. Well, if you know addiction, you know that when they get out of jail, they are still an addict.
David Kerr established Integrity House in Newark back in 1968. It is a nationally recognized provider of substance abuse treatment and support services. He says he believes Cody's approach needs a mandatory alcohol treatment component. He believes while jail time can be effective in very short increments of a few days tops, in the end, it does very little to make a compelling difference in the behavior of an alcoholic.
You learn how to be a criminal in jail, more so than be a positive member of society. From my personal experience, and I've done prison time. I've done a lot of prison time through the years.
It doesn't matter if they don't have a license, they still drive. It doesn't matter if they put something in the car that they can't turn it on, they'll figure out a way to drive. As long as they are with the disease of addiction, and they will drink and drive.
His urine today was clean. He is instructed to continue with the meetings and the curfews.
The answer, according to Kerr and a specially charged state task force on sentencing and corrections, can be found in drug court. Here, an addicted offender gets a combination of jail time and treatment. Data says it works.
The national data on the drug court shows that 70% of individuals who engage in the drug court 3 years later are still drug-free, clean and sober, and usually working.
What do you think about the drug court model?
It's something we need to look at, but at the same time, you know, when people who are drug addicts break into your home and injure someone and steal something, you know, you don't say, oh, we're not going to send you to jail. Of course we're going to send them to jail.
So how best to stem the problem? Kerr believes the answer lies somewhere at the intersection of Cody's bills and the drug court method. He calls it the iron fist in the velvet glove approach. Short blasts of prison, daily monitoring, constant accountability. Cody says he's willing to work with Kerr's ideas and perhaps modify the legislation.
If you want what you've never had, you got to be willing what you've never done. You got to be willing to do what you've never done.
And that is what those on all sides say needs to happen to heal the addict, prevent the crime, and protect the innocent. Marie Denoya Aronson, NJN News.